Good morning. This is Rich Nass, Executive Vice President with Open Systems Media and leader of the Embedded and IoT franchises. I am here for this week's installment of 5 Minutes With, and we have a special guest this morning, Rob McKeel, who is the CEO of GE Energy Connections Automation and Controls business. That's a pretty long title you got there, Rob. How are you?
Makes for a big business card. I'm doing fine. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. So we have 5 minutes, so let's get right into this. As the CEO of a major company, someone who's helping to drive the industry, you obviously have to be a visionary. You have to be looking pretty far out to drive, and I'm making assumptions, but I assume that's correct. Where do you see this industrial IoT industry being, say, 5 years out from now?
Great. Yeah, look, I think part of my job is always to look in the future and try to anticipate which trends are ones that will take hold and which trends are those that may just be interesting to talk about. And what we've seen with the industrial IoT is it's a trend that's really taking hold. It's not necessarily new. There's been connectivity in devices. There's been software on top of devices, supervisory systems, remote monitoring, diagnostics. These types of capabilities have been building over time. But the momentum and pace at which these are building is even faster today as the technology that enables them has evolved and spread. So as you look out 5 years, I see a much more connected enterprise. I think the winners, those who will be creating value in that space, are those who create the ecosystems of connectivity between analytics-based capabilities in the cloud, analytics-based capabilities on the edge or on-premise, and analytics capabilities at the devices. And each of those choices will be based on how much time from rapidity of decision-making is required, and of course the compute capability and memory capability on those devices. So I think the ecosystems will become a bigger deal, how you connect those and provide different levels of value. And of course, GE's been investing in those ecosystems with our Predix system, for cloud-based analytics. We've put a lot of work into an edge-based version, so we call it Predix Edge. And we've had some success with that in the near term. We expect that to grow, and then of course continue to expand our capabilities to drive the controls at the asset itself.
Okay, now you're using one of my favorite words repeatedly, ecosystem. What is your definition of an ecosystem, just so we're on the same plane?
Yeah, for me, an ecosystem is connectivity of the various device components, right? So you have to have the products. You also have to have connectivity, so the way that you get information from those products to each other or those products to higher level software systems, which is the third base. So for us, we look at the cloud-based architecture as part of that ecosystem. We look at the edge-based capabilities as part of that ecosystem, and we look at the compute piece. Now we also look at the ecosystem as how you work with partners and customers. So we're looking at developing capabilities for our partners and customers to develop their own capabilities, put their own value add into that ecosystem. That would come in the form of applications, whether it's cloud-based or edge-based applications, to add value into their assets if they're an OEM, or into their offering if they're a domain expert in a particular industry. So the ecosystems have both a technology play and a people or expertise play across the different industries.
Okay, so let me put you on the hot seat here. You mentioned a bunch of different aspects of that ecosystem. Which pieces do you think that GE Automation will own 5 years out? The edge, the cloud, the fog, the machinery, everything? Do you want to own all of it, or do you think that you should be using third parties for various pieces?
Yeah, look, I think we definitely want to be leading. We look at ourselves as a leader in the space. We put a big investment into our Predix infrastructure. We think we've got the right solution. So we will definitely have a leader position in the cloud to edge space, but we won't have a leadership position on that in every area of domain. GE's got great domain in certain industries, and we can bring high value applications into those industries. There are other industries where there's other domain experts, and we'd look to partner with those domain experts to bring their expertise and value in the system. There are also places in the ecosystem where we wouldn't necessarily develop all the capability and technologies. There may be technologies that are better developed by someone else, and we look at how we would provide flexibility in our software stack, our technology stack, from asset to edge to cloud, to allow others to fit into that ecosystem and bring their value. Not unlike how different people use the HomeKit application in Apple to plug into the Apple ecosystem, as an example.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys are sort of like the Apple of the industrial space. You're one of the people that people look to and say, well, let's let GE Automation put the framework in, and then we'll just follow their lead. Does that put added pressure on somebody like GE Automation to make sure that you get it right, because you don't want to get it wrong and have the whole industry go down the wrong path?
Definitely. Look, we've taken a leadership position over the past many years. We really believe in the industrial internet as a value creator for customers and for partners and for ourselves. And so we've staked a leadership position. We've put a heavy amount of investment into that leadership position to make sure we're developing the right solutions. We're iterating with our customers to make sure they're seeing the value that they should see in that, and that helps. That iteration, that approach, helps us get the technology and the solutions right as we build them. And we'll continue to evolve and improve them over time, just like you see in any technology industry.
Very good. So we're almost out of time. Just one more for you. Which region of the world do you think is leading in deployments? Not in the, with what you guys do where you're developing the technology, but where it's actually being deployed. Is it Germany, Western Europe, like a lot of people assume, or are there other regions?
I think it's hard to say which region's far ahead. I think those with the larger installed base of automation infrastructure tend to lead first because they have something to build on. So you think about those places that have invested in automation, like the European economies, like the U.S. economy, and others. Those tend to be first movers because you can build off an existing infrastructure. But we're also seeing the need for places in remote areas that don't necessarily have the capabilities where OEMs are putting their assets into remote areas, whether it's oil and gas or power or some of these industries where you're going into emerging markets. They still need to provide that value of how to manage those assets and get the optimal efficiency and productivity out of them. So I think you're seeing a mix in those two places. But I would say in the pure manufacturing space, those places with automation already tend to be taking an early position.
Okay, I know I said that was the last question, but you made me think of something else with your response there. Is it more difficult to be in places where they already have an infrastructure, where they're looking to do like a retrofit, as opposed to some of these other countries that have nothing and you could just go in from scratch and just build up with all new stuff right from the beginning?
Yeah, look, we've anticipated that a lot of infrastructure that people need to get value from exists. We anticipated that in our thought process around our ecosystem. We've created a line of products we call field agents and a line of products we call control servers that can sit on top of existing infrastructure and interface with the existing infrastructure. So if someone doesn't want to change everything they have, we can help fit into that and provide that capability. So we do think there's going to be brownfield value. In a lot of cases, the early value will come from brownfield. And so we have solutions for that, but we also have solutions that help people think about greenfield, where we've integrated the control capability with the connectivity in a single device, and allows people to look at that capability of both doing the automation side and the information side together. We call that our outcome optimizing controller, and that piece allows for new installations to rethink how they do things. I reflect back to different trends. We went from mechanical relays to electrical systems and controls. It took a while for people to think and imagine how they would use this new technology, and they kept trying to apply it in the same way they would apply the mechanical technology. And over time, they found that new designs and new architectures were more efficient when you really took advantage of the technology. I think the same thing will happen here, that as people look at this new technology and this connected enterprise concept, that new architectures will emerge, and we're trying to think of both those trends. So help with the current architectures through gateway devices like our field agent and control server, and then also work with folks who want to think about a new paradigm with our outcome optimizing controllers.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rob. I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Pleasure to talk to you. That was Rob McKeel. He is the CEO of GE Energy Connections Automation and Controls business, and I'm Rich Ness. Hope you have a great day.